So one of the questions I get asked all of the time, I assume you do as well, is how did I end up at eXp? And more narrowed in, how did I end up with Powerhouse? And what do those things mean? Do you get that question a lot?
I do get that question a lot because I came from a really big company and I actually recruited for that company and I recruited against eXp. So, so
So
a lot
you
of
thought
people,
you knew everything about eXp?
Oh, 100%. I would have
Okay.
like sworn to you, let's go to the mat. I can tell you all about this company.
And did you?
I did not.
So let's talk about that.
I don't want that on record, but I was wrong.
Okay, so really, do you not want that?
No.
Okay, so tell me about what your experience has been. Or would you want me to go first?
No, you go first because you started, right?
Okay, so I was here first. I was at eXp first. For those of you that don't know, I was involved in another world prior to real estate. And in 2020, I went and got my real estate license. You know, we've known each other for a very long time. I've been wanting to get my real estate license for a very long time. And it just never worked out because we were moving every couple of years. You know, a brick and mortar business back then was not even conceivable of how you could move and take your business with you. You're just completely starting from scratch anytime you moved.
Yep.
And so when we were moving in the thick of it every 2 years, and I have 5 babies, it was just something that was not possible. So fast forward, it's 2020, and I got my real estate license. And as I started seeking out brokerages where I was going to go, and they're seeking, as you know, everyone's starting to hound you, like, come and join us. I'm doing all of my research. I went to every single one of the brick and mortars to cloud-based. I was doing all of my research. What I was doing on the side was watching Amy Gregory, as you know. And Amy was building a business. We weren't close yet. We knew of each other because we ran in the same kind of areas. But I was watching her build this business as a mom from home, from her computer that she carries around in her pocket. And I was like, now that's what I want to do. That's how I want to build a business. So agents, new agents, as you're looking to go and find a brokerage, you've got to find the things that are never going to happen things. That will help you narrow it down. And for me, I realized really quickly, I'm never going to knock doors, right? It works. Some people, that's their...
Godspeed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people, that works for them and brings them joy. It's something I was never going to do. Knock doors, make phone calls, have to go into an office, have somebody telling me. I was coming into business on my own. So I wasn't going to go somewhere where someone was like, you've got to be here at this time, leave at this time, make this many calls. Maybe I have oppositional defiance disorder. Maybe.
No.
But there was never going to be a time where somebody was telling me those things. So long story short is it looked to me the way Amy was building, and I didn't know all of the intricacies. I didn't know all of the ins and outs of the structure of eXp. I didn't know how all of the bodies of communities worked at this time yet. But it worked with my lifestyle, and it really resonated with me the way she was building a business on social media from carpool line with babies on her hip. And so that's what drew me and helped me narrow into what I wanted to choose as far as brokerage.
Crazy town.
Right?
Well, and for me, when you were talking about eXp, I was really kind of turned off to it initially because locally where I was, eXp didn't have a great reputation, right? Or there weren't like really strong, phenomenal agents running their businesses through eXp. Everybody was still very much so brick and mortar, a cloud-based brokerage was just kind of like not even in anybody's thought process. And so I knew if I did decide to join this company that it would not be locally. And I was under the impression that the whole downline thing or the sponsorship thing worked the same way it did from
in a brick
the
and
company
mortar.
where I was.
Okay.
Yeah. And I had no idea that it worked very, very differently. So where I was, you choose a sponsor. That sponsor is associated with a specific office.
That's local.
Right? Yes, that's local. Or, you could actually choose them anywhere. They could be anywhere in the world, but they're still associated with an office, right? And that's their resource source, if that makes sense, right? That's where they get all of their information, whatever. And they really don't have anything to do with you once you join the company because they're just the person that got you there, right? So your knowledge or your support or your village really lies in that brick and mortar, right? That one spot. So I knew I didn't want that anymore. I had done that for years and years. So whenever I talked to you, and your group was based out of Arizona, And so, it's kind of like, why, I'm in Kentucky. Like, why would you join a company out of Arizona? Well, it's because real estate wise and business wise, eons ahead of where business models were where I lived, right? So I knew I wanted to be a part of that. What I did not know was that when I joined under Amy Peterson, that I would get Amy Gregory, who runs Powerhouse, and I would also get Go-Go Bethke, who runs Team Go-Go, and I would also get Fast Forward Movement, and I would also, right, I had no idea that I had access to all of these groups, right? And then there's this like preconceived notion about what a cloud brokerage is, that there's really no culture, or there's no relationships there, or whatever all the things are that we were taught to say. And the culture that I have experienced in the last few years is, it can't be touched, right? I got to choose those people.
Yeah.
It wasn't a group of people that I was stuck with, that I just hoped for the best with. It's a group that I've been able to choose. And they've changed my life. They've changed my children's lives. The trajectory of my entire business has been changed because I was able to completely, when I say annihilate and wipe out the way that I used to do business and do it very differently, it was all because of the examples of the Amy Petersons and the Amy Gregorys and the Go-Go Bethkes. And it's been life-changing.
And everyone just pours into each other. And they want to see you succeed.
Yes.
And that's what was so uncommon that I found is I'm going to the brick and mortars and I'm checking everything out. And I was asking, okay, do you share the listing presentation? Do you share and it's very close to your chest.
Well, especially
because your
with
competition.
women. Yeah, especially with women, right there. Woo.
Yeah.
So especially with women, they want you to succeed until you're getting better than them, and then not so much.
Yeah.
Right. But where we are, it's just like
Everyone's lifting each other up.
Yeah, it's a crazy town.
It's funny that you talk about the office. I had this thought as you were talking, going into a brick and mortar, kind of like a high school. I've said this too. My kids had great friends. Had a great high school experience. But you go to high school and you become friends by proximity. You are hanging out with the people that you are in those 4 brick walls with, right? And then when you go to college, and I remember saying this to my kids often, like, you're going to find this whole new world because now you get to go and pick and choose who you resonate with, who you connect with, and those become your lifelong friends. And I can't help but relate that to this. Like, you're in a brick and mortar and wonderful people doing wonderful things, but you may or may not have chosen it. And they may or may not want to support and love you in the way you do when you go out on your own.
Oh, for sure. And let me tell you, I was operating at a high level, right? I was in leadership at this company. I was around the best of the best. I was in masterminds with the owner of the company, right? Like, I'm talking high level. So it's not like I was sheltered or I didn't have access to information, right? Or all the things. And so to feel like I was operating at such a high level in one place and then to move over to this cloud-based, model where all of a sudden my eyes were quite literally opened to all of the possibilities, right? And just completely changed the structure of how I did business. And it's insane.
I love it.
It is
so what would you
insane.
say is one of the biggest strengths of being, or what would you say one of the greatest, what's the word, gifts or strengths, blessings, whatever you want to look at, of being at eXp in the downline? Now, it does matter, your downline, 100%. We need to make sure and clarify that.
Yes, it did not really matter where I was before.
Yes.
It really didn't, because everybody really had access to the same things.
Right.
Everybody had access to the same resources, information, masterminds, events, whatever. Everyone in the company had access to the exact same thing. So I had no idea that it's the same way, right? At eXp, everyone has access to all the things that the company offers. But when you get in these groups, right, you can either be in a group of the mediocre folks, which is fine, right? But or you can be in with these like multi-bajillionaires that are running insane businesses, just like you said, from their carpool line. So I now spend way more time with my family. I am much less stressed out. I work far fewer hours than I worked for the last 10 years, and I make twice as much money.
You're right. And it's good for you. It's the efficiency. And I think that is the biggest thing, the takeaway. And we got to wrap this up.
Yeah, it's because I was taught.
I think that,
right?
yes, well, and there was this
efficiency.
thought of like, we've got to work 60-hour weeks and you can't be, that's why I didn't get my real estate license for so long. You can never be a great mom and be a real estate agent because you're working nights, you're working weekends. Like, why? Who decided that's how it has to be? Absolutely not.
And we're going to have a whole other episode on that because it's just incredible how much the support and the accountability, right, matters, and what a big
Right.
part it plays in your business.
Yeah.
So anyway, I know I was a little blindsided by it all. I had no idea. I thought I did.
Yeah.
But I didn't.
Well, the same for me. I knew it was
Yeah.
going to be awesome, but I had no idea how amazing it was
Yeah.
going to be, and how much of a strength and a lift and a support that these groups and women would be.
Oh.
And not just women. There's men and women.
There are,
obviously.
yeah, but I
Our
mean-
Powerhouse group is there. It does tend to be more female solo agent.
Yeah,
moms,
I feel
right?
like Team Go-Go, definitely men and women. You have all types there. Powerhouse is more female empowerment, right? More females. We have Wire. Wire is definitely, it's women in real estate, so definitely female focused. But I'll be forever grateful.
Yeah,
Forever
same.
grateful that you picked up that phone and called me.
I'm so glad I did too.
I love you. Thank
Nothing
you.
better.